Hey everyone, Motorola just released a phone with quite the trick up its sleeve, a stylus. There are very few phones out there that have styluses, and most of them, like the Galaxy Note line, are killer on your wallet. Yet, despite the name, the Moto G Pro, also known as the Moto G Stylus in the United States, is still a mid-ranger. It seems to have adequate features for the price, and it seems to be targeting a very particular niche. So is Motorola onto something? I'm Angie for GS Marina, and this is our review of the Moto G Pro. The design isn't totally basic, and unlike many mid-rangers, it has an aluminum frame. The plastic back feels more like glass too, and it has a nice blue to black gradient Motorola is calling Mystic Indigo. It feels nice in the hand, and smudges aren't too noticeable. However, you should know that it's a bit heavy for its size, probably because of the stylus stored in the phone. It also has a microSD card slot, but that hardly takes up extra space. The G Pro has a similar design to many of Motorola's recent releases, with a triple camera setup and a fingerprint reader on the back that has the Moto logo. The reader works well and quickly, but it's a bit higher than we would have liked. The same can be said for the volume buttons on the side of the phone. This might also be because of the stylus, which slots in on the bottom right of the phone. The stylus looks simple and clean. It has no extra features, but it has a nice weight to it, so it doesn't feel super cheap. On the front, you'll find that the screen is a flat one with fairly thin bezels on the right and left sides and slightly thicker bezels on the top and bottom. And the upper left corner, there's a tiny punch hole that we found to be very unobtrusive. In general, the 6.4-inch IPS LCD looks good. With 420 nits in manual mode and 640 nits in auto mode, the Moto G Pro is a nice phone to have even on really sunny days. All the same, it's relatively compact for today's standards, and the color accuracy is not mind-blowing. We weren't impressed by the battery life either. At 4,000 mAh, it's average to small by today's standards, and it got an endurance rating of 88 hours in our test, which is merely okay. The 15-watt wall charger included in the box didn't have spectacular performance either. The Moto G Pro got 0 to 36% in half an hour, and it needed almost 2 hours to get a full charge. Even though it's a mid-range device, the Moto G Pro has a set of loud stereo speakers. They have balanced loudness and clear vocals, but the bass was practically non-existent. The phone uses last year's Snapdragon 665 chipset with 4 gigs of RAM. There is no 6GB RAM option for those that want future-proofing though. It'll be fine for most day-to-day tasks, and you should know that the chipset's performance is okay, but there are quite a few phones with the Snapdragon 700 series chipsets at this price, which are significantly faster. Still, this being a Motorola phone, you're getting a very clean and very light Android experience. The Moto G Pro is part of Android One if you're buying it outside of the US, but in any case, the phone is running Android 10 and has a nearly stock Android experience. Pretty much the only noticeable customizations that you'll find are in the Moto app, and you get to choose whether you prefer navigation gestures or buttons, or explore the other Moto gestures like karate chop for the flashlight. There's some new options too, like the peek display, which lets you reply to messages from the lock screen, and a new attentive display, which means the screen won't dim or switch off if you're looking at it. Keeping with the simplified UI, you won't find a lot of customizations for the stylus. When you take it out, a bubble with 4 shortcuts pops out, and you can choose one of them to write a note. You can switch which apps you prefer to be in the bubble, but unfortunately there's a max of 4. Writing with it was alright and worked consistently, but it's far from the Galaxy Note's pen in terms of accuracy. But for someone who often jots down notes, it works quite well. The Moto G Pro has a triple camera setup. There's a 48 megapixel main sensor with an f1.7 aperture, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 16 megapixel ultra-wide action cam that's dedicated for videos. Unfortunately, you can't snap photos with it, which is a bit of a waste, really. In any case, in daylight, photos shot with the main camera are sharp with plenty of detail. Colors are natural, and dynamic range is what we expected for a phone at this price. In low light, there was low noise, good contrast, and true-to-life colors. On a few of our test photos, the phone picked a darker exposure which made shadows a bit too dark, but other times exposure was just fine. The night vision mode brightened up the photos and brought out a lot more detail from the shadows. Light sources and colors looked nicer too. Still, images were softer overall. The macro cam doesn't have autofocus, so getting a crisper shot was a bit challenging, and the low resolution means that it lacks detail by default. Still, colors are vibrant, and shots look nice if you shoot in conditions with enough light. The camera in the punch hole in the front has a 16 megapixel resolution and an f2.0 aperture, and it produced decent selfies. The dynamic range also seems to be wide enough for most scenes. The Moto G Pro can shoot up to 4K at 30 FPS with the main cam. The dynamic range isn't as wide as we would have liked, and colors were a bit washed out, and there was no stabilization. Sharpness is on par with the competition, however, and there's virtually no noise. The ultra-wide action cam shoots full HD videos, and you can capture the footage by holding the phone vertically. 30 FPS videos were nicely stabilized, and you get to take advantage of the wide field of view, but sadly the dynamic range was quite narrow here, and the video quality was not so hot. The Moto G Pro makes sense as a budget proposition. It's not only the stylus and the stereo speakers, but it's also the fact that it has a bright screen, nice photo quality by the main camera, generous space storage, and adequate processing power. However, it's not priced like a budget phone, and that will make it a tough sell in markets where there's very strong competition from Realme and Xiaomi. Even Samsung has some pretty great phones at this price point. So unless that stylus is really high on your priorities list, we don't really recommend this phone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.